Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Madden Legit Gamers YouTube channel. Today our video is going to be how to install your offense for Madden 23. And this is going to be the second part of the Atlanta Falcons series. If you missed the first video, please go back and watch it. But what we did in the first video is we identified our strengths and weaknesses of our offense and defense. So in part two, we're going to now that we know our strengths of our offense, we're going to build our offense around those strengths. Uh, so jumping right in real life, spread teams often can install a good portion of their playbook in 3 days. And how they do that is on day one, they start with this simple base concepts. And that's what we're going to do in Madden. We're going to find our base concepts and then we're going to install those into our playbook. And what that usually consists of is you'll find your base formations, around 5 formations to start with, and then you're going to pick 1 to 2 base running plays. So for us, our base running play in the spread to run is going to be the read option. Um, so using that base run, and then we're going to pick 5 base passing concepts to give our offense a true identity. Those 5 basic passing concepts are going to be 1, shallow cross, 2, drive, 3, spot, 4, mesh, and 5, Y cross. So those are going to be the 5 examples that I use to create our base offense. Okay, before we get into building the actual playbook, first thing I want to break down is a feature that probably not a lot of people use in Madden, but I'm telling you, if you start using it, you will improve greatly. If you're mediocre to bottom level in your CFM, usually, if you start using this, I guarantee you will see improvement. And this feature is the game plan feature that is in the custom playbook area of Madden. Um, so, how you want to use the game plan feature correctly is you want to base them off of your audibles. And what I mean by that is you get 4 audibles per formation. So, with those 4 audibles per formation, you can add 1 extra play from that formation into your game plan. So, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be coming out in that play and then having access to 4 additional plays from that formation. And each scenario within the game plan, so first down, second and long, second and medium, second and short, and so on, you get a maximum of 30 plays per situation. And those will show up in game under coaching suggestions for each situation. So on first down in coaching suggestions, you'll have 30 plays to choose from, up to 30. I would recommend not doing 30 because that's still a lot to scroll through in the menu. I would recommend for each situation that you have what you think you should be in based on what the defense showed you in the film or in scouting. Which, if you have questions about how to watch film or how to scout, please refer back to my earlier videos and you'll understand why that's important. I don't want to stay on the game plan feature too long here. The last thing I will say is that for the system of the game plan, so the stars, as you can see on the screen, you can label each play with stars. And so, how I usually do this is I will set up my game plan in my playbook when I create it, and then for each game after I scout my opponent, I will go in and adjust the stars based on what plays I think I need to be coming out in for each situation. So, example, if my opponent likes to run cover one on third and longs, right? Then I will make sure that under my situation, third and long, that I have a nice cover one beater in there to come out in. I will anything that does well against cover one, I will make sure that those are rated higher than the other plays for that specific game. So like Y cross against cover one is pretty good, right? So I would put Y cross above the other concepts that I have in there for third and long situations. So I'm going to touch on this real quick. So some people have asked me, how do you create a custom playbook and just have a blank slate to start adding plays and formations in? So what I do is I go and figure out, okay, what is the stock book that is closest to the scheme that I'm building? And in this case, it's going to be the Arizona Cardinals spread offense. And how you do that is you can go into your CFM, you can go to edit schemes, and you can look at all the different playbook schemes as shown on the image. Okay, so let me start by saying each playbook has specific plays that must stay in the playbook and that you cannot take out. And those are, they used to be Hail Mary, but they took away the ability to edit that, thankfully. But now you just got to find that one play from a set that you want to keep in your playbook when you build, right? So the one I'm going to use is Y trips weak, and the play is going to be play action read. And all you do is go into that formation, go to that play, and you're going to star every situation for that specific play. So play action read for this instance. And then the game will then allow you to go through every other formation in the playbook and delete it completely out. And that way you'll end up with only having one formation and one play in your playbook. So it's like a clean slate that you can start from. All right, moving on to day one install. So for the first install within your playbook, all you're doing is finding your base formations and your base concepts. And how you do that is, so we're going to be a spread to run offense. So you go into the custom playbook editor and you find 5 formations that fit what you want to do. So what you're looking for is to find your base run in all 5 of those formations. So for this example, my base run is going to be read option. So I'm going to select spread Y slot, spread Y flex, spread double flex, and doubles Y flex. And tray open is going to be our only trips formation to start with. Our 5 concepts are going to be read option for our running play, shallow cross for our first passing concept, drive for our second passing concept, spot, mesh, and Y cross, giving us a total of 6 concepts, one being a run. So for your first install, you're only going to install 5 formations. Within those 5 formations, you're going to have 5 plays in each. And the reason for that, again, is you have 4 audibles, and then you have one play that you can come out in from your game plan. And the reason you're going to do that is so that you can have access to all of the plays within your playbook when you're at the line of scrimmage. Because during this install, you're only going to be using formations that have the same personnel. So for this specific install, I'm only using 11 personnel, which is 1 running back, 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers. So after you've added your base plays in those 5 formations and you've set up your audibles, with one of those plays, one of those 5 plays being in your game plan, now you're going to save the playbook as install 1, and then we're going to take it to the practice field or practice game, and we're going to master that first install. The problem that most Madden players have is they get overwhelmed by the playbook. And the way you really learn your playbook and learn your plays, learn your adjustments to each play, is to install a little bit at a time. And that's the same with real life. Coaches don't just throw the whole playbook at all their players in the first day. They install their offense slowly. and they make sure they get all of the basics down before they start implementing more intricate parts of. Okay, guys, so now that we have the first part of our offense installed, now we want to move on to day 2 install. And so after you've mastered those first 30 plays, you're going to now install complementary concepts that look similar to your base concepts but offer your opponent different looks. Concepts to consider when defending your base plays. These are called constraint plays. Um, think of it as like your adjustment to what your opponent is doing to stop your base play. In Madden terms, you employ these type of plays to prevent the user from jumping um, your base stuff, what the user can identify as your base route concepts. Think of it as like a punch slash counter punch. One of your base concepts, or one of our base concepts so far, is drive, and as you can see on the screen, there are 2 other variations of drive that look like drive, but after the play starts, it could give your opponent a little bit different looks. And this, so with install 2, all you're doing is finding those constraint plays, putting them in your playbook, setting up your audibles again, and adding maybe 1 or 2 to your game plan, depending on what situation they would be best for. And that's pretty much it for install 2. All you're going to do now is save that playbook as install 2, and you're going to take that back to the practice field. And all right, so once you've mastered your install 2, for the final and third install, pretty much what we're going to be doing is just adding more formations, um, but including our base concepts within those formations, the constraint plays within those formations, and for the third install is where you want to install your screen game and your wrinkles. So concepts that are anti base. So if you're an inside zone running team, a zone running team, this is where you want to add in like maybe a few power runs, a couple counters, things of that nature, things that will just keep the defense on their toes. And last but not least here, you want to also add in your play action game. So your play action shots and the other play actions that are built around your base running concepts. So for this instance, my base run is read option, which is an inside zone run. So I would want in an ideal world for my play actions to also be based on that same inside zone action. Now on Madden, it's kind of hard to do that because it's hard to find that specific run action in those specific formations that you choose, but you can kind of play with it and get it close enough to where. So we're done. After the third install, that's it. Now all you got to do is master your playbook by going to the practice field, staying in the lab, and just practicing it in games that don't really count for anything. And then once you have your game plan fine-tuned, your audibles fine-tuned, then you are ready to use that playbook in a CFM for when it counts. Alright guys, so that's all I have for you today. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you watching the video, checking out the content. This will probably be the last video before Madden 23 drops next week. I may do some live streams using the 3 different installed playbooks. But really, we are just getting ready for the Madden 23 release. If you didn't catch the other videos, you can click up top here and you should be able to find the related video for the first part of the Atlanta Falcons series. And as always, guys, feel free to comment below if you have any questions, or if you would like me to go into more detail about anything on my next video. Please like and subscribe. Every supporter counts. Every supporter helps the channel grow. I appreciate you guys' time. And
EA Sports, it's in the game.